All right, welcome in. Welcome back to the BFR Podcast presented by Sports Mockery and Homage, and also Fanatics joined the crew today. So we're super excited. OTAs, Bears OTAs, second week is in the books. Friday practice, a rare one as it be, was a lot better, Ficky. We have some good news to honestly report on, which is really, really exciting, something that we did not get last week, which was fun. Honestly, last week was kind of fun. I wouldn't take it for anything. This is the ups and downs of a rookie quarterback, a new offense, a new offensive coordinator, and everything like that. But start off the bat, Ficky, Caleb Williams, he had a fantastic day. He was cooking out there. I wanted to start with you on your overall thoughts on Caleb Williams on his Friday OTA, and then we'll kind of get into the details of it all.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, from a high level, like the man balled out, at least in 7-on-7s. I think he had kind of a mixed review type of day with the 11-on-11s. But, again, we have to kind of start out with this asterisk here with knowing, like, first off, this is a rookie quarterback and there's a lot of people missing from practice. So, he did ball out on 7-on-7s, but I think like Kyler Gordon was missing. I like most of the secondary. I know Bayard was missing. JJ, maybe. Yeah, we'll go through the full list, but
we'll get to that here in a little bit.
He looked good though, so which is positive. Like, I'm not going to be upset about it, but again, like if we're talking about like a meter of like, oh my gosh, I'm ready to run through a brick wall, or like I'm the other way where it's like, oh my gosh, I'm ready to jump ship because it's going horrible. Maybe it's a tick in the positive, which is fine. You know what I mean? And I think the real gauge where like I'll start to maybe freak out a little bit more or be even more hype is when we get to training camp, because people are there. Who he's going to be working with is there. He's had enough. He's probably gotten his second install by that point. He should be a little bit more accustomed to the playbook, you know what I mean? And be a little bit more locked in. But again, there's so much learning right now. And then what sucks too is we only see like one day a week, you know what I mean? But they had 3 OTA practices this week. And like last week there was 3 and you only see one. So it's kind of hard to really gauge. But overall,
one a week, but
social media be happy about it. Go ahead.
Yeah, the good news is mandatory minicamp is going to be here next week, which will be obviously it's not voluntary. Everyone has to be there. That's what you like. I think there's a possibility to be fined if you're not. Caleb Williams, I said we'll touch on as far as the details of how he performed today, but you kind of alluded to who was there, who wasn't, and the Bears defense, there were some key players missing. That obviously is the truth. So during the 7-on-7 period, the following defensive players were on the field. So Tyreek Stevenson, Terrell Smith, Elijah Hicks, Jonathan Owens, Jack Sanborn, Tremaine Edmonds, Noah Swell. So now, obviously, a lot of players, like you said, are missing from that secondary, the one that were barking, obviously talking trash, very, very confident group. That includes, obviously, Montez Sweat was not there again, Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon, Jaquan Brisker, Kevin Byard, among others who are not there. Also, on the offensive side, Keenan Allen was not there. Odunze was full practice, full go, and we'll get to that here in a little bit. But back to Caleb Williams, and I mean, to say he bounced back was an understatement. He went during these 7-on-7 drills, Ficky. He was some say 13, some say 14 of 15. So
we'll take.
I'm gonna go 13 of 15. This one was kind of confirmed by a couple people, including Adam Johns. But he made several excellent throws, including a touchdown to DJ Moore. He also had a quick over the middle to his good friend Johnson. What's his name? Pulled up here from his college days. They signed him, John Jackson III.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, they just signed him for a UDFA, undrafted free agent, right? Yeah.
But he had a really nice play. They actually posted this one, I believe, on their Instagram, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they just signed him too, and that's his boy. So,
John Jackson III. Yeah, he made a play over the middle that Caleb Williams obviously found him. But yeah, it's a fact that he went 13 of 15. He also led a game-winning drive that ended with a Cario Santos game-winning field goal to put the Bears offense ahead. Obviously, the Bears were missing some key players. Matt Eberflus also spoke about what he saw out there, but he was kind of, to be honest, he was a little I don't think he was pretty even keel for the most part, but he did say that the OTA was good. He also mentioned that Williams' footwork has improved, which is a keynote, which I already thought it was vastly better than our previous guy, and Mitch. So overall, just a really good Friday for the Bears offense. And I know there's a lot of people that were excited at first. Then you hear about all the studs, all the stars, the starters that are missing from this Bears secondary that are going to be a pain in the ass throughout Hard Knocks, which we'll get to later. But for me, this is what Caleb Williams was supposed to do and what he needed to do. Because could you imagine, Ficky, if
I don't want to.
Reports are same as last week where they struggled. He couldn't move the ball. Had one incompletion last week or something like that, or one completion.
Yeah. And
for me, if it was the opposite, then we have, I don't know, maybe not, red alert or anything like that, but it would just be, that would be disheartening. I think that's a good word right there. It would be disheartening because are you serious? You can't light up.
That's fair though. Like I from a fan perspective, we'd be freaking out a little bit just because we've only, like I said, we only get one day of like information, and if we find out that both days just happen to be garbage, it's not going to go well over for us. But the defense had 3 starters in, Tremaine, and Tyreek. So it is what it is. But the passes did look good. He was connecting, so I think what we want to see is that he should have done what he's supposed to do, and he did. So he checked the box. That's it. You know what I mean? And if we can just keep getting those boxes checked and we're just like, okay, there's nothing to worry about, I think it'll keep us fans in a good headspace. I mean, I'm sure in the building, they're totally fine. I doubt any of the coaches are worried about it. And we talk about this all the time. If there's a time you're going to mess up, this is the time to do it. Right? Because you're learning so much. And you know what? Come week 1, week 2, the first couple of weeks, Caleb's going to mess up. It's going to happen, right? You hope he goes in that Jordan Love path where it's like by week 10, you're kind of in a groove. You know what I mean? You know the offense pretty well, or whenever the bye week is. I think that's week 8, right? Right after London in week 7. So like by that point, you kind of get in a groove and you take off. But there's going to be some bumps along the way, and that's just expected. He's a rookie quarterback. So, but yeah, it's great to see clips like this. Like keep feeding us Caleb to roam. Like I could watch that all day, so just look, just delivering dots, man. Like it is good to see. I think the good thing though is the Bears are putting out like the best clips of him. Like they had the one that was to DJ yesterday where he like kind of threw it right in the bucket.
That was the one to Rome.
Oh, Rome. Yes, right.
Today
Rome,
was
the late
DJ.
hands. Yeah. And then he did the one to DJ across the middle.
Which again, is this one right here.
Again, take it for a grain of salt because, Fields made some beautiful passes as well last offseason. But we'll have to see.
I don't. And apparently right here when DJ was celebrating, which isn't shown on this clip, DJ is actually looking back at Caleb here, and he is doing the exact same thing. Basically, both doing that awesome celebration, which is pretty cool. I thought was a fun little nugget there. But I love this play here. Obviously, it is OTA. This is what it's all about. You want to see, stuff like this.
I mean, what else do we have right now? You know what I mean? We have to. If we were to get nothing, what do we talk about? There's because remember what we went before the last pod. There was like 4 days and there was literally absolutely no news. And like the ongoing joke on Bears Twitter was like, everyone's just dying to figure out what the heck's going on, whether it's good or bad. So, it's that part of the off season where we need to see something to get excited about. And thankfully there's some exciting clips to talk about and reports, because the reports are more important because people are literally there. The Bears can pick this clip, that clip, and only show that, but we're getting a full picture. So what's important is, I think, is how many of these do we see stacked up, right? Like through this offseason. Because if you remember, maybe not so much with Fields, like we did see it with Fields, but if you remember the Mitch regime, there were so many times where it was like, yeah, today was not a good day of offensive practice. The offense didn't show up again. You know what I mean? Like it just wasn't there, right? So today we have one where it's like the offense wasn't the best, and then we have them where the offense was. Like, what do we see next time? You know?
Yeah.
And I think that'll be important. See how many of those to kind of get a glimpse of like how well this offense is clicking, or vice versa.
Yeah, it's all about stacking. Making sure I wasn't muted there. It's all about stacking days, building chemistry at this point. We all know that it's going to take some time. And right now, I just want to, you want to hear positivity, but at the same time, I mean, Caleb Williams, he put it on himself, honestly, and I'm going to hold him to his own standard, where he said he wants to break CJ Stroud's rookie season. Like, he wants to do better, you know, and obviously that's the confidence. That's what we love about him, his persona, his, that superstar mentality and his desire to be great. Like that, I don't ever want that to change. So for me, I know it is kind of weird to be like, have these expectations where I want him to dominate practices like in a row consistently. And I like you said early on, I think there's going to be times, well, there will be, I guarantee it. There's going to be times where this defense, as good as it is, top 5 even, depending on, I mean, honestly, as far as expectations go, they are going to be a group that should be in the top 5. And I think they all consider themselves in that same boat. You talk to Montez Sweat, you talk to Jalen Johnson, Tyreek Stevenson, even Kyler Gordon. You look at the linebacker duos, including even Jack Sanborn. So for me, with the rise of Javon Dexter, you see him at camp, how big he is. I just think the expectations for Caleb are fair because he puts that on himself, you know, as far as what he wants to do. So I think today where it's like, yeah, sure, they're missing some guys, but like, that's what you want to see. Now we have mandatory minicamp where everyone's going to have to be there. Everyone's going to have to show up, which, I mean, this is a tight group. Matt Eberflus alluded to, and Ryan Poles talked about how everyone's bought in. I mean, they have Hard Knocks coming. So, I mean, they're going to get as many reps in probably and try to get ready for all these cameras that are going to be here probably sooner. I mean, the show debuts, what? The 6th of August. So they're going to be here probably mid-June, prepping, getting these guys ready. So anyways, some more clips here from practice. I think this one's from Rome Odunze, or from Caleb to Rome, which I love to see Rome out there. Look at him.
Quick throw.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's what you see with a lot of these highlights with Caleb, is his release is
so quick.
Even in slow-mo, when the Bears put out those highlight videos where it's slow motion, Ficky, it looks crisp, man. It looks good. And I hate to do it where you have to compare it to Justin, but it's like he was the most recent guy. If it was Trubisky, I would do the same thing.
Hey, so say I want to bring up this comment because that was a perfect segue. Look, Hendricks
I didn't even see
said still finding a way to talk about Justin Fields, puke emoji. He's gone and never coming back. Look, we're not talking about him in the light of like, oh my gosh, we want, you know, like we're not talking about Fields and like the sadness of like what went down with Fields. He's the last quarterback. So you have to compare this quarterback to something. We talked about Mitch. Mitch has been gone for a minute, but we have to compare. I think that's fair. It's not like we're talking about Justin Fields in the way of like, why isn't he back here, or how the situation went. You got to compare this quarterback to the recent quarterback. Every team does that. You know what I mean?
Well, you don't have to, but I think when it comes to camp, you kind of do, because you're not going off like when the season starts. I don't think you're going to see those comparisons as much as often, but like, because you're just going to be, the season's here. Every week's going to be different. There's going to be new information. There's going to be new issues, problems to solve, probably, you know, critiques on Caleb's side, but hopefully more highlights than that. But for me right now, where it is so early on, you're looking at these differences. You're looking at the early differences. Like right now, footwork, another big thing with Justin, which he actually, we'll talk about Justin Fields right now, but there was a clip out of Pittsburgh about him going back to his college footwork, where the Bears were kind of making him do something completely different as soon as he got in the league. So the last 3 years, he's been a changed man, a changed quarterback as far as his footwork goes. And now he's back to what he was doing at Ohio State, I think probably even high school. And so now you come into, which isn't a bad thing, but now you got Caleb, where it's almost, I mean, Flus highlighted it today, unprovoked, talking about his improvement, and then highlighted his footwork is improving already. And even though it was already a good spot, I think it's really cool to see just those subtle differences. Of course, we're going to have to see it in the game, and probably it's going to have to, you know, the production's going to have to be there. That's what we all expect when it comes to this offense. But I mean, to dominate today, to shine the way they did, I mean, it's good to hear. It's a good way to go into your weekend. I mean, I think all Bears fans probably feel a lot better now. Like, some people might be a little pissed off,
I don't know how
starters are missing.
Yeah,
we got duped. But
how do you hear your quarterback goes 13 for 15 and 7 on 7s with some beautiful throws and be upset? At that point, you're never going to be happy. Look, I'm sorry. Like you don't have to ride the high where it's like all the way on 10, like we said, but like you can be excited and be like, hey, that was a great practice. It's better than the alternative. And this franchise typically with the quarterback position deals with the alternative. It's normally, offense sucked today. Offense sucked today. So now that we start to see some different stories specifically with our quarterback, like why would you not be happy? Like there's no reason to be miserable anymore when good things are happening. So
no, for sure. And this is the play, I think, to Rome where he drops it right in the bucket from Caleb to Rome. This is a hell of a throw.
Oh yeah.
I'll pause it here on the second.
Ooh.
Yeah. And that's Tyreek Stevenson, number 29, for those that are curious or did not know. But it's a hell of a throw. To bring it back here, you see him. I think he's looking off Tyreek here, just in the very beginning, which you love, kind of manipulating the defense a little bit. Again, kind of slow motion here. And then a very, very quick. Yeah, he locks in on Rome. Probably going there. It's a go route. And you just love to see the late hands, like you said, Ficky, from Rome. Tyreek had no shot here. See some of the defense. I forgot. I see who's coach. What's his name? I think it's one of the defensive assistants right there.
And it's just a bucket drop, bro.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's one of in college, that was like one of his most volume driven routes is the 9 route. Right, Penix used to throw the 9 to Rome all the time, so it's good to see that they're, I'm sure they're using different routes through practice. He's not just running go routes, but it is good to see that they're utilizing one of his strengths from college.
Go routes are. I think we're going to see quite a few of those. I went through one of my articles that I dropped. The series I'm doing on SM right now is just ranking the NFC North, Ficky, and it's going through every position group. So went through the quarterbacks on Monday, dropped my wide receiver rankings today, which we're going to go over. Ficky, I want to kind of hear your feedback. I haven't heard from you in regards to what you thought, because I am curious.
I figured you were going to bring it up on the show. I know you posted in the Twitter group, but I was like,
the group chat. Yeah. So I want to hear your thoughts on it. We'll get to that, which should be fun. But here, DeAndre Swift, which I like to take notice because he's been very involved in the passing game. And I know it's all about the passing game right now because obviously you can't do much in the run game. There's no blocking, but it should be, right? This is what we want to get right here. We want to see a passing offense that is elite this year, or at least it should be. I'm gonna hold it to that standard when you have these.
No, you can't. You're right. You can't have Keenan, DJ, and Rome and Caleb and not have at least like maybe saying top 5 is maybe too much. But if you're not in the top 15 passing wise,
I'll be pissed.
You got a problem. Yeah,
you're
exactly.
Right. But anyway, so we have Caleb here, DeAndre Swift, who's been more involved, Ficky, in the passing game, which you love to see, which is going to be a very underrated signing. I think people forget about him for the most part. But again, you don't see any pads there. It is what it is. And I'll play it one more time here. Just a hell of a throw. The quick release, it's smooth, and then the late hands, and then a great catch. Tyreek Stevenson still almost got his hands in there.
Yeah, he did.
I think he's going to have a good camp. He'll be fun to watch that secondary is going to be insane.
Should be.
As far as Hard Knocks goes, I'm looking forward to that.
Hell yeah.
Looking forward to that, which we're going to get to. I feel like, man, there's a lot of news within the last few things here. So next year, we already went over the Bears, had some key players missing. Rome Odunze was a full go. You can check out this article, all of my notes here on sportsmockery.com. Of course, sponsored by the show, helps promote. We wouldn't be here without them, of course. And we're super, super excited to be partnered with them, like we always say. So, but Rome Odunze, really, really good. He had a hamstring injury that he sustained during rookie minicamp, 2-3 weeks ago now. The Bears have been talking about, I think Flus mentioned that they are going to be ramping him back up. And safe to say today, I mean, he was a full go, which is really cool. Full participation. You love to see it. I know I want to say May, but it's June tomorrow, which is
Crazy.
insane to think about.
Crazy.
And then also a couple other notes. We'll get to Hard Knocks here in a minute, but Nate Davis attended practice. He attended Friday's OTA, but he did not participate. He basically spent this time stretching, or during the stretching portion, he was on a vertical stair climber and observed the offensive line drills. I think also Kareem, the rookie offensive lineman, Kareem, what's his last name?
What is Kareem's last name?
Anyways, the rookie.
You're talking about Abangaji.
Yes, yeah. He was also, I guess he was substantially there for a little bit, just talking with Nate Davis. I don't know if what they were kind of talking about, maybe mentor, something going on there. Also, to move to keep it on the line, there was a competition happening at center that Matt Eberflus pretty much confirmed today. Ryan Bates, Coleman, Shelton have both been taking turns as first-team center during OTAs. So last week it was Bates that held the position at C1, and then Shelton this week took over that role. Obviously, Matt Eberflus was he was asked about it. He commented, he said, we've been rotating some, kind of just pointing out the obvious there. But it looks like there's a competition that will be fun to kind of keep an eye on. Also, I mean, the Bears got to get that one right. I mean, I don't know how long it's been since the Bears have had a freaking center.
Probably always.
I mean, Whitehair was Whitehair a center during Mitchell? He was during 2018.
Yes, he was a center during.
He's pretty damn good.
Yeah, he was a better guard. Yeah, he was a better guard though. But yeah, the problem was they moved Whitehair around like every season, so a different position literally every year. That was that problem. But yeah, we haven't had like a solidified center, like who could be there for a couple of years. Probably like a good one since Kreutz, which is crazy because that was like Kreutz retired in like 2011 or something like that. So. No, Roberto. Okay, so King Fu Garza said Roberto, but Roberto was a guard. Roberto Garza.
That was a while ago, though, right?
Yeah, that's way back. That's like Lovie Smith era. But he was a guard, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, that was with Kreutz.
Roberto. Yeah, because that was way back in the Cuddy days? Or was that even before?
Yeah.
No, he was drafted by the Falcons in the 4th round, and in 2005 he joined the Bears, spending 10 seasons with the team. So he went all the way to 2015. So yeah, he was a center.
Oh, he was okay. My bad.
Wait, he may have played some guard. I know he played guard. But he was
if he was in 05 though, he would have been a guard when Kreutz was center. When Kreutz retired, he probably went to center. That's probably it. Yeah, because he wouldn't have been
either way a beast
there, but. I know, good call out, Kung Fu Garza. Crazy, you got the same last name. So
I know, right? He knows his.
Yeah,
he knows his
shit. Yeah, he knows his Garza. So I don't blame him.
That's funny. Again, another thing here I wanted to kind of highlight, Ficky, before we get over to our rankings of the NFC North wide receivers. Caleb Williams, the offense, completed a successful 2-minute drill, which, again, I don't want to bring up the previous regime, previous quarterback, previous offense. That was one of the biggest weaknesses, biggest knocking points was that 2-minute drill. And I know this is fucking OTAs, so I'm not going to put too much on it, but you just love to see that from these guys, right? From this Bears offense. This is what I'm talking about in regards to stacking days, making it count. And I just like to see that was probably one of my favorite outcomes from today was just a successful 2-minute drive, win the game. Simple as that. See you later. Shower. Let's go.
As you know, one of the most important drives in the NFL is that 2-minute before halftime, especially if you deferred in the first half and you get the ball in the second. If you can get that score right before the half and then get the ball back, that's an easy 7 to 14 point swing, right? Or a 10 point if you get a field goal there like we did today. So it is good to see that. Again, OTAs, we understand that, but a lot of good news, and I'm not going to be upset about that one bit, like at all. So
yeah, no either. This is from CHGO Bears Podcast here. I think they had a really good clip. But this is just Caleb just slinging it. I can start it over real quick, but just throwing some routes here, routes on air. Nothing too special. I do like the number 18. I wanted to point that out again. It's really grown on me because I at first did not like I didn't like the number choice, to be honest.
That's fair. 13 feels a little sexier, I guess, if that's a term we'd use. But yeah, it looks a little
but
better.
Now I can't
I've gotten used to
see
it.
him on 18. Yeah, now I'm like 13 sounds gross because I'm like he looks good in 18, man. He really does. And it's
funny. It's just a number. It's funny, but yeah, it is. It's like, and if he balls out in it, it looks even better. Like the numbers look better. Yeah, go ahead.
If he plays better, I'll talk about the Bears. I mean, last time they're in the Super Bowl, they lost to a guy with number 18.
They did, and I think Kyle Orton was 18, who should have started
in that
Super Bowl, in my opinion. But
I was a big fan of Rex, though. I really did. I mean, that was 2005, so I was 8 years old, but I just kind of was just sexy Rexy. Yeah. Either way, I like 18. I like seeing I just like seeing football on our screens for the most part.
Yeah. We do. John here on YouTube has a good good info on the punter.
Yep.
Said the Australian. I love that. The Australian was pinning shit inside the 5 all day. Very impressive. Had to look up the record for most safeties in a season, and it's 4. Bears might get 5 this year with the new punter. I'd be happy about it. 4. You know what? That's kind of crazy. A team got 4 safeties in a season. That's crazy. That's a lot of safeties. That's so hard to do.
Yeah. Like so as far as that is, now that you think about it, I just don't even think that's
4. Like, have you ever seen a team get? I'm trying to think recently now.
Dude, did the Bears get a safety last year?
No,
I don't remember one. So that's hard to do.
Now the 2018 team did the 2018
they got 2?
team I think got 2, and that was like one of the.
I remember one against the Rams.
6 defense. Yeah,
I remember the one against the Rams in 2018, and I thought they had one against the Giants.
Yeah, I think Akeem got one.
So two safeties that year.
But still, though, and we're like, oh wow, that team is like a top 10 defense all time, and they only got 2. Who the hell got 4? That's crazy. But anyways.
Maybe the 85 Bears. I wonder how many they got off their. If anybody knows that, look that up in the comments.
Yeah, look it up. Let us know.
Before we get to the Australian punter, I think it's a good segue. If you guys are first-time listeners to our podcast on YouTube, we go live every week during the off season, twice during the regular season. We are super, super excited you're here. And then if you just want to go ahead and hit that like button, if you've been here a while, hit that like button. It really does help support the channel. And then also we have some really good news with Hard Knocks. We are going to be recapping every single episode the day it airs. We will be going over it, just breaking down the funny parts, what we liked, what we didn't like, all that good stuff. So we're super, super excited about the Bears getting Hard Knocks, which we'll kind of give our full comments on. We haven't done that since it's been released as far as the news goes. And then also, again, if you're on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to our podcast, go ahead and rate, review. You guys have been chiming in there. We appreciate it. Ficky, I'm going to segue to you in regards to our Patreon community, which has been growing, our Instagram and everything like that. And of course, our new face gang, old face gang, OGs in the chat. We'll get to that. So I'll throw that over to you, Ficky, and then we'll go ahead and get to the Australian Punter.
It is just so fun with the Australian accent. But yeah, if this is your first time joining, go ahead and give a hashtag new face gang in the chat. We'll give you a shout out before the end of the show. And if you're an OG in here, which means you've seen 2 episodes of us, or this is your 50th episode, whatever it is, give a hashtag OG in the chat as well. And we'll make sure to pop you up on the screen before the show ends. And like Dave said, we do have a Patreon community. You can join for free. But if you there's 2 paid tiers in there, the rookie tier, the rookie Grizzly tier, and the Hall of Fame Grizzly tier. And each tier has exclusive benefits. So like the rookie tier, you're gonna there's giveaways, which we actually had our giveaway announced today. So shout out Chris. You want a free snapback, and we'll DM you on the Patreon. So you'll get a snapback coming to you. We do on the Hall of Fame tier, you got exclusive one-on-one. So Gage is one of our Hall of Fame tier members, and we got a call with him next week. And then we got like a bunch of other great stuff on there when NCAA, which I don't know if you've seen the trailer, the deep dive for that. When NCAA comes out, we're going to have an online dynasty league.
I'm not doing
join.
I'm not podcasting in July.
Yeah, just give it up.
I'm
Sorry, buddy. But we'll have an online dynasty league in there. When the new Madden drops, an online league in there as well. Also, with the rookie tier, you get access to our free Discord. And we got members in there right now, and there's a bunch of cool stuff in there as well. So a bunch of cool benefits is definitely worth it. Also, if you want to support the show, go ahead. We do have some.
Sure, looks good.
On the BFRstore.com. So shirts, like I said, our Chris on Patreon won a free hat. So we do have hats on there, beanies, stickers, a whole bunch of great stuff on there. So if you go to the BFRstore.com, the BFRstore.com, you can find all our merch and all, you guys don't have to buy anything. You don't have to throw us money, but when you do, we do appreciate it because really we just take that money and dump it right back into the show, right? So we can figure out ways to make this show better, help it grow, and keep delivering value for you guys, because really that's what it's about. Me and Dave like each other, but if it's just me and him talking to each other and no one in here engaging, I promise you.
I would do it for 4. I would do it for 1. I would do it for 500.
100%. So yeah, so it's really great that you guys support us. So again, if you're new here, new face gang in the chat, OG in the chat, and if you want to support us, check out the Patreon, the BFR Den on patreon.com. That's the BFR Den. And if you want to support us by merch, you can go to the BFRstore.com.
Yeah. Awesome. But the best way, the easiest way to support us, once again, hit that like button on YouTube.
It's free.
Rate and review on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. But super, super excited for everything that's kind of been growing. And then we are, like I said, the Bears this offseason has been unreal. You get a quarterback with the number 1 pick. You get Odunze. You get so much. And then you get Hard Knocks. I mean, this is just an insane time to be a Bears fan. Super, super, super fun. And then we have an Australian punter that will go.
Before we go, though, we do have an answer to the team that had 4 safeties. And this is actually kind of crazy. So John said it was the Titans in 1999. But what's even crazier is what Matthew says on Facebook. 5 teams are tied with 4. The Titans were just the latest one to do it. That's crazy. You're telling me there's 5 teams that have
the latest 4? One to do it, and it's 1999.
Wild.
That's crazy.
Yes. Offenses have obviously gotten a lot better, so I can see why there's not as many safeties. Like I wonder 4 of those.
Yeah, the game's catered to it for sure.
So, but still, that's crazy. 5 teams with 4. Wild.
Oh yeah.
But thanks for that. I appreciate that.
Let's go ahead and bring up this clip because you talked about the Australian punter, Tory Taylor. This is from Mark Carman. Make sure I can play it here.
But look all the hang time on that though.
I know. It's crazy. Before we get copyrighted here. There we go.
Look at that.
There's a little form here. I don't know if you all can see this on YouTube, but I mean, can you? Yeah, you can see him.
Yeah.
He's a big dude too, man. Like,
he is.
Jesus. But yeah, he was booming punts all day. I'm excited. He's going to be a weapon. I mean, it reminds me of like a watered down Devin Hester, just because like every time he punts, it's going to be exciting, right? So it's for opposite reasons,
weird.
But
yeah. Well, hopefully he never sees the field, but
Caleb said that.
It's gonna happen.
Caleb said that, but I think we can get a picture of where the ball is. It's just,
bro, it's
dude.
Up there. But you know what? It is
exciting.
I mean, but the NFL is a game of field position. So like he is actually a weapon in that. Like obviously it's not favorable if we're punting on 4th down because that means the drive is stopped. But if you had to pick the best, I don't know, situation, you'd want someone who could pin that under the 20. Because I don't have the numbers on me, but I remember there was like the success rate of scoring points when starting underneath the 20 compared to starting at the 40 is like, it's like almost double the amount, like a percentage wise. So that means like, I'm just throwing numbers out there, but let's say to get 3 points or more starting under the 20, it's like 30%. They say if you start at the 40, it's like 60, right? And that's a big deal. That's, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's much harder chances. So it's hopefully he is a weapon. Hopefully spending that high draft pick, because it was a 4th rounder to get him, is worth it. Because you know what? If he ends up being what he is, no one's going to care that 4th pick went to a punter. I can promise you that. No,
if he's here for 10, I mean, punters last for a while. If they're good, they're going to be here. I mean, look at Pat O'Donnell, and he was good, average some seasons. So, I mean, and he was here for a long time. Brad Maynard, I think, was here for a little bit.
Oh, my gosh. He was here for a long time. That name rings a
bell. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Brad was the man.
Yeah, man. So if you're a good punter, you'll be loved in this town. You want to buy another drink, you'll be, yeah. Anyways, flipping field position, we saw it last year where Trenton Gill, he just couldn't get it done. He looks like a tight end. It's so true. Big dude. Super excited about him.
Hey, question because I saw this. The Chiefs special teams coordinator basically was talking about how they may not have Harrison Butker kick on the kickoff rules because of the new kickoff rules. The kicker is more likely to tackle, right? Because of the distance. So because of that, they're thinking about using Justin Reed, who's their safety. Justin Reed, actually, when Harrison Butker couldn't kick last year, kicked, and he can kick the ball well. So the question is, compared to Cairo's definitely a smaller guy, right? That's our true kicker. But do you have Tory Taylor, who's a little bit bigger in frame, be the kicker on kickoff compared to Cairo?
Yeah, but Cairo's I feel like he would be a feisty little guy.
Yeah, but you wanted to get
tackle.
I think he could.
I think he could wrap up, man. I really do.
Have we seen? I'm actually now just thinking.
But it's a really good point.
Have we actually seen him tackle? I don't think so because he hasn't had a kick blocked, right? Or he had one blocked last year, but it was like a short one. He didn't have to make the tackle.
Yeah,
and he didn't kick on kickoff either, did he? Was that Gill?
Nah,
I can't remember.
So. Yeah, well, No, Cairo kicked off.
Did he? Okay, I can't remember. I'm not gonna lie.
I remember him doing it a few times, but yeah, that's a really good point. I mean,
or do they go here? How about this? If it's not Cairo and it's not Tory, like, do you think there's someone? Do you think they would go the Chiefs route?
No, I don't think the Bears. They don't. The Chiefs have history because they had to, and they found out Reed could, get the job done. So,
yeah, I don't think so either. It would be interesting though. It'll be interesting to see if some teams, if that is the way. I don't think all the teams are going to announce it, but that I can see that'd be a good strategy.
This is so fun for the new kickoff rule because there is going to be so much more strategy, on defense or on the kicking side, and then of course the return side is going to be dynamic as well. So,
look at this,
very fun.
Tory is listed 6'4", 230, bro.
Dude, he's built, dude. Yeah, when he stands next to Caleb, and I'm not trying to. This is not a shade. I mean, anybody on the roster. I mean, look at Brisker. This guy is intimidating. Like,
I'm just saying, bro. And you wouldn't want to get hit by that. Just 6'4", 230 is pretty big.
Yeah. Hey, don't sleep on Cairo though. Yeah. Anyways, though, really, really good OTA. I want to wrap up. I think mini camp is going to be a little bit more a good indication, just more fun as far as, this team, everyone's supposed to be there. I mean, you get Keenan back, you're going to get some really good battles and whatnot. So before we get over to Hard Knocks, which we're both super, super excited about, I want to go through this article I wrote again on sportsmockery.com. Went ahead and started a series where I'm ranking the NFC North at every position group for the most part. Started with the quarterbacks, like I said earlier on Monday. Today released my wide receiver rankings. And so here's where I started. I'm just going to go off. You're going to tell me what's wrong, what you love, what you hate, what you can't stand, and everything like that. So Justin Jefferson, I went with number one. Number two, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Okay. And then DJ Moore 3, Keenan Allen 4, Jordan Addison 5, Jaden Reed 6, Rome Odunze 7, Romeo Doubs, Green Bay Packers receiver at number 8. Some honorable mentions. I only went to 8 here. Christian Watson. I think he's great. He just can't stay healthy. And Dontavian Wicks, who I think is kind of low-key underrated as well. Another Packers receiver. That Packers receiving core is so young, but they have a lot of good studs over there, like good players. And then I jokingly threw in Bayless Jones Jr. just because he has a cool nickname, B12. How can you not throw him in?
No.
Honorable mention.
No. That's not his nickname. Remember what Fields called him last year? He called him dumbass. That's his nickname.
What he called him?
You don't remember that? He called
on
the pod with St. Brown brothers. I think that's what he said. They said like they joke around and call him dumbass or something like that. So
that's funny.
But V12
I do remember that a little bit.
V12 is a fire nickname though. That is dope. Hopefully he gets utilized more this year too because of motion that Shane Waldron likes to do.
Yeah.
But going through your list though. Yeah.
Real quick, I'm gonna go let my dog out real quick. They're barking. Give me one second. Is there any questions in the chat before we go over this list? 50?
Yeah, I might look at some stuff. And see it's on there.
If you guys have any questions, though, definitely throw in there. I'll be real quick. I'll be right back.
That's fine. I'll go through my what I like and what I don't like. All right, so it's just me. What I'm thinking, though, like obviously number one, Justin Jefferson. Is that even a question? Number one wide receiver in the NFL. Going to be interesting, though, with all these wide receiver twos getting paid good money, like Jaden Waddle got like $28 million per year. It just keeps pushing the price up for someone like Justin Jefferson. Will the Vikings pay it? I don't know, because it's going to be like record-breaking money. So that one's obvious. He's one of the best. He is the best wide receiver in the NFL. Number two with Amon-Ra St. Brown. Now, that one is interesting because right after Amon-Ra is 3 with DJ Moore. Amon-Ra is pretty good. I'm not upset with that being 2, right? Because I think technically Amon-Ra was all pro and DJ Moore wasn't. So the consensus would make him number 2. He did just get the bag. Not saying that DJ Moore won't. But I think maybe there's been a little bit more consistency with Amon-Ra, but he's also been on the same team. He's only been on the Lions, while DJ Moore had a breakout year, but that was his first year with the Bears. So we got to see what he does this year, and he's working with a new quarterback. So we'll see what happens there. Number 3, DJ Moore. I am not upset about that. At the end of the day, those top 3 wide receivers are all top 15, like in the NFL. So I'm not ever complaining about, is it 15 versus 10 versus 8? You're a dog. Like, you are a all-pro cusp talented player, right? An all-star, you would say, a Pro Bowler. So, are close to it. So I'm not upset about that. Number 4, Keenan Allen. I think you have to. Like, when you look at the rest of his list, I know he's older. He's 31 going on 32, I believe. But the dude can ball. He literally had a breakout year last year. Like, yeah.
Wait, you're talking about how much you love this list?
No, I'm pretty in tune. Like,
what have I missed?
So basically, number 1's easy. Justin Jefferson is number 1 in the NFL. There's no question.
Good.
Amon-Ra, I said I could see him being 2 because he's had a little bit more consistency, I would say, but it's also in favor of him being on the same team with the same quarterback, with the same offensive coordinator.
He's been consistent, right? But I think you could argue he's been consistent too, even with the shitty hands he's been dealt at quarterback.
But I also said like 2, 3, it doesn't like these top 3 wide receivers are all top 10 in the NFL.
Hear me out. The reason why I put DJ over or St. Brown over DJ, it was hard to do. Being a Bears fan was hard enough. And then you look at his production, like I said, but St. Brown was insane last year, dude. Insane.
Yeah, he went crazy.
So 1,500 plus yards, 10 touchdowns, 119 receptions. I think I would love to see DJ with a superstar. Even a Jared Goff level quarterback, which we think Caleb could be. So I think that was a tough one for me.
But still,
I appreciate all.
It's 2 or 3. Like, if there's no argument.
So,
now, 4. This is where I was at. 4 with Keenan Allen. Just had a breakout year. Talk about consistency. 13 years in the league, just doing his thing. Yeah,
resetting numbers.
Not breakout year, career year.
It is though.
Yeah,
it's insane. Yeah. He really is. He's been consistent, but to have your best year and miss 4 games as well,
crazy, bro. So like,
anyways,
number 4, there's no one after like the top 4 is a tier ahead of everybody else. Your top 4 are wide receiver 1s. One of them's wide receiver 1 in the NFL. The other 3 are wide receiver 1 on almost every other team. Well, Keenan Allen was wide receiver 1 on the Chargers. DJ Moore was wide receiver 1 his whole career. And Amon-Ra was wide receiver 1, right? So that's not hard. Now, when you get to 5, 6, 7, I agree with you with Jordan Addison that he's 5.
At 5? Okay.
Yes. But what I think can happen is, let me put it this way. Jordan Addison's 5 this year. In 3 years, I don't think that's the case. In 3 years, I think Keenan Allen will be retired, which is fair. Rome Odunze will probably be higher than what Jordan Addison is. I think Rome Odunze's ceiling is higher than Jordan Addison. But because he's behind DJ Moore and Keenan Allen, what can you do? And he's a rookie.
And my note here for Rome Odunze being at 7. So first of all, Jordan Addison, you said you could be You think he's going to be lower or higher?
Well, no, I'll think that it's not about what number he is. I think Rome will pass him. So let's say Rome is, let's say Addison's 4, then I think Rome would be 3, right? I think
so. Jordan Addison had a pretty impressive rookie season. 70 receptions, 911 yards, 11th most in the NFL, 10 touchdowns, tied for 4th. I mean, he took advantage of Justin Jefferson being hindered, banged up last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm on 2 years in a row, insane numbers. John, you're 100% right there. But Jordan Addison, I think Rome, you nailed it, Ficky. I don't know if you even read this, but I really said I can see him rising to the top 3 in the NFC North. So I'm talking like it could go Justin Jefferson, St. Brown, and then eventually could even be Rome over DJ in that number 3 spot. Just because I think he's that talented. I mean, you look at his college stats here, 92 receptions, over 1,600 yards, 13 touchdowns, accolade after accolade. I mean, he was impressive. Yeah, I think a lot of people thought he could be the number 1 guy if it wasn't such a stacked receiving class at the top, honestly, all around. So I think he's going to be significant. I think there's going to be an impact right away for his rookie season. I mean, learning with Keenan Allen is awesome. But at number 6, I want to touch on Jaden Reed, who I thought was really, really good, similar to Jordan Addison, had a very, very impressive rookie season. He was at 6, and then Romeo Doubs. Oh, I like that. John says Rome reminds me of Andre Johnson.
Beast. He didn't get his credit like he deserved, but that man was
he was awesome. He was fun to watch. He was a killer, dude. And then Romeo Doubs at 8. I think the Packers are, I mean, you look at you got Reed, Dobbs, and then my 2 honorable mentions, which I could have went Jamison Williams from the Lions.
Yeah, he didn't get on.
I mean, doing this list was at first I thought I was like, oh, this is gonna be kind of easy, right? And then you get a bunch of these guys, like bunch of stars. I mean, the NFC North is loaded
on offense, yeah, 100%.
Loaded at the receiving. And so, but I mean, the Packers having 4 guys in that back. I mean, 2 honorable mentions on my list, and you have those 2. You got Dobbs and then Jaden Reed at 6 and 8. I think it's fun, but then you got the Bears who have at 3 and 4 on my list, and then of course Rome Odunze at 7. And I know he hasn't played a snap, but you could he could make it very clear he's better than Jaden Reed right away.
Yeah, in
his first few games in the league, and then Jordan Addison, who I'm actually really high on. I thought he is going to be really good I think he has a lot of potential. I'll leave it at that. Similar to Rome Odunze. So I don't know where he's going to be in year 2.
That's Caleb's dog. That his Heisman winning year. That was his number one target. So I mean,
the Vikings, man, they can draft receivers. Good for them.
Yeah,
Stephon Diggs sending him to Buffalo, and then you have
go all the way back to Chris Carter and Randy Moss, all Vikings. So they've known how to.
Was Moss a Raider first, or was he a Viking first?
No, he was Viking first, Raider, then Patriots. Is how that.
Did he go anywhere after New England? I know this is off topic. I can't remember.
That's a great question. He probably did before he retired, but like his end of his like good years was the Patriots run. Yeah. But bro, this is going back to the NFC North and just the offensive. I mean, the offensive positions and how stacked they are. Like quarterback, you have Caleb, Goff, Kirk Cousins. It used to be Jordan Love, and then now JJ. JJ is the only question mark, right? McCarthy. We just went through the wide receiver list. There's at least 5 wide receivers on there that are dominant, right? Or 4 at least. 4 wide receiver 1s on there, and then some really good wide receiver 2s. Running back, Josh Jacobs. Then you have who went to the Vikings from the Packers. You have oh my gosh, why can't I think of his name? Aaron Jones. Then you have the Lions who have Montgomery, and they have Jahmyr Gibbs. You have the Bears who have DeAndre Swift and Roschon Johnson, and then
Herbert.
Yeah, that's Herbert. That's
Herbert.
That's all 4 teams.
Yeah, that's actually my next position group is either going to be tight end or I may go defensive, go cornerbacks. But I'm excited to do the running backs as well because I want to kind of. When I went through these lists, I have my quarterback rankings as well. But when you go through these, when I go through all the numbers. Watch a lot of film. Not a lot. I can't go through everything, but And then I go through, of course, PFF. I just go through these guys that are in the NFC North. I'm like, it is an insane division, like you said, Ficky. It is a bloodbath next year and probably for the foreseeable future because everyone's freaking young outside of like Keenan Allen, right?
Right.
I mean, Jared Goff is 29 years old.
Fact.
He's still going to – I think he's going to be a problem. I mean, he just signed that extension. But I wanted to go over real quick, Ficky.
One last one, though. The last position, though. Tight end, bro. They still – tight end Bears have Cole Kmet, Gerald Everett. The Lions have Laporta, who broke all the records as a rookie. Mm-hmm. And then TJ Hawkinson with the Vikings. So, sorry, I just had to say it because it's like literally every position you have at least 3 like dogs.
That is why I'm excited. That's why when I started to look into doing these, I was like, oh, this is going to be fun. Because, like, years past, there was a couple maybe bad teams. You can look at the Bears who have been bad for, 4 years after after Mitch. I mean, Justin was fun, but, I mean, there were some bad Bears teams, right? And then you have the Lions weren't good for a little bit, but then they surged. Yep. So right now you look at all these teams, Bears, Packers, Lions, Vikings, they're all pretty talented. Sure have some holes on the roster, but like you've been saying, everyone has a couple guys. So real quick, quarterback rankings, because I released this on Monday, and you can check out all my work again on sportsmarket.com. But I went Jared Goff, Jordan Love, Caleb Williams, JJ McCarthy. I got some pushback. Some people saying I should have had Sam Darnold on there instead of JJ, but let's be honest here, I just couldn't do it. So how would you? I mean, are you sticking with these rankings?
Yeah, I think that's way easier of a clear cut.
Let me know in the chat too, guys, how you guys would rank these 4 quarterbacks.
But I mean, Jared Goff's balling. Jordan
I don't
Love,
get the disrespect. He can't play against the Bears. I understand that. He gets fucking his cheeks are clapped.
He was like a couple minutes away from the Super Bowl, and because of him, like it wasn't like game manager Jared Goff like the Rams. Like he literally has been playing like great except against us. So. Yeah, and Jordan Love, the problem with him was he started a little bit slow. So, and also Jared Goff has more he has 2 years of elite play while Jordan Love only has half a season. Caleb Williams is a rookie. JJ McCarthy is a rookie, but I think we would all agree that Caleb Williams with the roster and talent-wise is a better prospect. So, of course, he's 3. Even if it was Sam Darnold, I'm putting Sam Darnold 4th anyway, so it doesn't matter. It's not like it really changed at all. So,
it's It is fun. I will say this. I had a hard time with Jordan Love because I think he's really good.
You know what
he showed me on that back half of last year, man. I thought he was just phenomenal. And so I like Jared Goff. I'm high on him as well. But I think Jordan might already be a little bit better.
Do we see though?
Crazy to say.
And maybe we don't. I think I have to answer this, but do we see a sophomore slump with Jordan? Or do we not?
No,
because typically you'll see a sophomore slump, but do we not? Because technically it's his 5th year in the league.
I'm not doubting Green Bay Packer quarterbacks until they show me, dude. But also I think Jordan is good. I mean, they're so young, they're getting better. It's another year. I mean, Matt LaFleur is I'm a big believer in him. I think he's going to have those boys ready to go like he always does. However, I think Caleb Williams, that's the X factor. I think he could surge up there this year. Like right year 1, I think he can make some noise, and he could probably be, I'm not even going to say it, he could maybe be number 1. Like that's how crazy talented he is and how crazy the Bears have really set him up. So high expectations. I know I say it, but if he wants to be CJ Stroud, like he said he was going to be and better.
Gotta ball out.
If he was better than CJ Stroud, he's probably pushing for that number 1 spot in the NFC North. So
absolutely. My God. I can't
overall, I love doing these rankings. Going to have quite a few more out through the month of June. So if you guys enjoy rankings, go ahead and check it out. Check all my work again at sportsmarket.com. And we'll be going through we'll be going the rankings throughout the pod as well. But Ficky, before we close the show with Hard Knocks, do we have any either super chats, any questions we want to get to?
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do the shout outs now. We do have some.
And shout outs. Good.
Mr. James, who's definitely OG on here, he said, boys, I finally made it. Tev retweeted me. Tev is a great follow on Twitter, by the way, Tevin Jenkins.
Did he
does
really
interact with the fans. I think so.
Let's go. Let's take a look.
Tevin posts funny stuff too. His stuff be hilarious. He always does memes and whatnot. So while you're pulling that up, we'll go through here. We got Cody on YouTube saying #OG. We got Drew Foster, hashtag new face gang. We'll support the boys. Appreciate that, Drew. See, you're active in the chat today, so we appreciate that. We got John in here. It was hashtag OG. He said, this is my second time in chat. Appreciate that.
Thank
we got
you, John.
Matthew on Facebook with a hashtag new face gang. Appreciate that, Matthew. We appreciate everyone being active in the chat. And then we do have one question if you want to answer that now.
Yeah, let's knock it out.
Yeah.
Our thoughts on
hear from John. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Hear from John. So DJ Moore and Keenan Allen have never had a season over 8 touchdowns receiving in their career. Do you think DJ Moore or Keenan Allen gets 10 touchdowns this year? I'm going to say no for 2 reasons. One, the ball's going to be spread around a lot. And the second reason is in the red zone, we have a giant named Cole Kmet, and then we also got a pretty big guy named Gerald Everett. So it doesn't mean like if they don't hit 10 touchdowns, it doesn't mean it's a bad season, right? But I just feel like there's a lot of hands to feed, and Cole Kmet does pretty good in the red zone. So, but if it happens, like I won't be surprised. Let me put it that way. If it happens, I won't be surprised. But it's just like there's a lot of hands to feed. What do you think?
Yeah. I disagree with you, actually. I think someone's getting 10.
Who then?
Keenan.
Who are you picking? Keenan?
I'm picking Keenan, dude. He's just I think he's going to be a really good red zone target.
He's bigger.
I think DJ's going to get Yak, obviously. And then I think Rome, I don't think he gets 10. That'd be nuts. But I think Keenan is just going to be such a good safety valve for him, not just in the red zone, but middle of the field, smooth route runner. I think Keenan gets 10 touchdowns. If he plays all 17, I think he's getting 10. I think this Bears offense is going to be. I think we had a discussion about run, pass. I think there's going to be obviously healthy of both, but I think there's going to be a heavy dose at certain points during games and maybe stretches during the season where they're going to rely heavily on Caleb's right hand and his arm. As far as getting the ball out quick, getting it to his playmakers, and I'm thinking like 30, 35 attempts, maybe a couple 40 bombs as far as attempts go. So, which is something we have not seen in a while. Outside of Mitch, Mitch used to throw a lot.
Yeah, he did actually throw a lot, just weren't accurate. You know what though? If Keenan gets 10 touchdowns, that means Caleb broke 30 easily.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah. I think Caleb
or any wide receiver, or if any target gets 10 touchdowns, Caleb easily broke 30. I don't think if Caleb doesn't break 30, I don't think he's targeting one person that much, in my opinion.
I think just because he's a rookie, I think he may fall in love with one of these guys, maybe a bit too much. Probably have some. And here's the thing: I don't think it's gonna be forever. I think he's gonna be maybe lock in a little bit on Keenan, and then maybe there's gonna be a game where it's like, 2 picks. No, 2 picks because he's gonna be targeting Keenan. He's like, all right, I'm gonna have to, or maybe not because Caleb is. I mean, he's a distributor, so I mean, we'll see. I think Kevin Copper said Rome is going to get 10, and that is really interesting. Kevin, if he gets 10, and you're still watching this pod, I'm gonna buy you something, man. I'll buy you a Rome jersey if he gets 10 touchdowns. Kevin,
that's crazy.
Reach out to me on Twitter. Yeah. Let's connect. I'll be honest. If he gets 10, which would be insane, I'll get you a Rome jersey.
That'd be crazy. Crazy. I mean,
I just don't think he does.
Crazy? You know what's crazy? I think the likelihood is very low, but it could happen. How do you guard everyone? You know what I mean?
Get to the quarterback.
That's the only thing. Like if the O-line is porous and it's just garbage because of injuries and whatnot, and Caleb doesn't have time. But if you give Caleb time, you can't. Yeah. There's no team that's going to be able to guard Keenan, DJ, Cole, and Rome. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm too high off the pixie dust right now, but I just feel like it's gonna be tough.
And Kevin goes here with his contested catch rate and his elite ability to go up and get it. I see that, and that's what I'm excited most to see. You're seeing it right now during OTAs. I mean, training camp, Hard Knocks. We're gonna get a heavy dose of Rome Odunze, which is gonna be awesome. Speaking of Hard Knocks, we'll end the show here. Overall thoughts initial reactions when it was announced?
I fucking hate it, bro. I hate the show, everything about it. Of course, man.
Surprisingly,
how are you not excited for it?
Well, let me bring it up here. We have a poll here on Twitter, on the BFR Twitter page that we posted. I wanted to get everyone's initial gut reaction to, because there are some people who are not a fan of Hard Knocks and did not want the distraction, did not want the eyes, the extra attention, distraction, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, so who knows? But during the poll, which why can I not find it here?
We do tweet a lot. So
what? Well, on the BFR pod? Yeah, we do.
We retweet a lot, I should say. But yeah, I mean, the percentage can't be too high, right? Like there's always going to be people that, and there's nothing wrong with that. I totally understand why some people would not want Hard Knocks, right? Especially if you're thinking about team only. Like I would understand that. Go ahead.
So over 2,000 votes. I said on the BFR podcast, we put on our page here, are you excited for the Bears to be on Hard Knocks? 87.6% with a yes, 5.1% with a no. And this is what was surprising, Ficky. My other option was don't care at 7.3%.
That's fair.
So, which is fine in minority. And maybe they're Packer fans, trolling on this one, or, Vikings fans, or who knows.
Yeah.
Either way, I'm not sure why you can't be hyped, or I'm not sure why you're not hyped about this if you're a Bears fan. This is going to be
this is which we've been waiting a lifetime.
The access, the behind the scenes that we're going to get to. We already know a lot. I mean, they do a good job with 1920 Drive on the Bears YouTube, but this is going to be extensive. This is going to be, it's going to be really, really cool for us, man. And like I said, we're going to be reacting. I cannot wait to have recap shows talking about Hard Knocks. It's going to help also alleviate some of that downtime. We'll be in the middle of training camp, of course, and so we'll be busy, but we're just going to it's going to be such an insane dose of Bears content over the next, probably starting mid-June to obviously to probably February when we're in the Super Bowl. And then we got the draft again. So either way, super, super pumped.
What it's also going to do is help first, like us fall in love with players a little bit more, because typically that's what happens with Hard Knocks. And then also it's going to maybe put the Bears in a better light when it comes from a national media standpoint. I would say now they've been in that, because I think most people are kind of on board with like what Ryan Poles has done. Like I think as a whole, but typically this Chicago Bears team is not the case of that. Like normally people just shit on us. Well deserved. We haven't been good for a good amount of time, but I think maybe this will make, just like how it happened with the Lions, where people were like rooting for the Lions if their team was out. We may get some of that. Even though we don't necessarily need it because the Bears market is so huge and there's so much support anyways. But I think I don't see the negatives behind it. I understand why someone would be like, the concerns. But like these aren't players that haven't been in the spotlight with social media nowadays and like modern age technology. You know what I mean? This isn't like when Hard Knocks first started, like what was that, 15 years ago or something like that? Like maybe 10 years ago, the internet was not how it is now. These guys are literally have phones in their face, have cameras on them all the time. So, and obviously HBO isn't going to put out something that negatively impacts the team unless it's already been like some breaking news that happens, right? Like someone getting arrested or something like that, knock on wood. But so I don't really see it being a negative.
No. I mean, the only thing negative about it is that will probably come about is if the Bears somehow have a rough start to the season, and people are going to blame that as an obvious distraction and whatnot. But Matt Eberflus mentioned that the players are super, super excited, pumped about participating in Hard Knocks. He mentioned that during his press conference today after Friday's OTA. He also believes that Caleb Williams is particularly well suited for this type of experience, given his superstar status, celebrity status since probably high school. Can even maybe go back to middle school. I mean, this guy he's been in the spotlight for a while, so he should be able to handle it. I'm not, and like you said, this day and age, It's just,
And
it's just if you
and this isn't a team.
cameras.
This isn't a facts. This also isn't a young like sometimes with Hard Knocks you get a lot of young players in a young team. Like we are young, but you have like DJ Moore has been in the league for a minute. Keenan Allen is definitely a vet. Tremaine Edmonds has been in the league for 6 years. TJ Edward 5 years. Like there's a good balance of young and veteran to where it's not like you're going to get that. Like if things get out of line or distraction, I think like we have the right guys in the locker room that have been in the NFL for a little bit to kind of keep things on track. Also, we haven't heard of any locker room issues in the past, like during the Flus era, except for Claypool and that one instance with Fields. So like, I don't know. I maybe again, I may be sipping out the Kool-Aid, but I don't really care.
I don't think you are. That big. I'm excited. It's going to be good. Bears are back. It's going to be fun to just be able to watch this team in such a bigger microscope, and see everything. So, I think that's it. Really fun day. We'll be back next week, probably early on the week. Traveling later, so we'll get some more content out in regards to mini camp. But appreciate everyone that's tuned in. Again, check out Homage for the Bears collection over there, and then of course Fanatics, and then sportsmockery.com as far as just our who we're teaming up with, and of course we are we're stoked. So, Ficky, anything else, man? Gotta stop rambling here.
Nah, I mean it was a good week though. I'm glad we got like the
hell of a week.
The news about Hard Knocks, and I'm glad the OTAs look good. So just keep on I'm not used to it, but keep on the positive like information that's coming from inside the Bears locker room. So it's been which is crazy. It is this offseason has been crazy. You get the number 1 pick. Well, you have the Fields debacle or the Fields situation, I should say, right? You get the number 1 pick, you draft Rome and Caleb. You have the stadium talks, which go back and forth. You now get on Hard Knocks. It's like, bro, it's kind of crazy that
stadium. I hate the stadium talk. Just like, I know it's staying in Chicago. Get it done. Figure out where we're gonna park. I don't want to hear about
there's no parking,
else.
bro.
Like,
we're gonna have to boat. We're gonna have to.
I don't know if there's a niche group where people just love, the details. I don't give it. I don't care. Just get it done. Make it cool. Make it modern.
Once the dirt's in the ground, then I care.
Yeah,
like
then
once
I'll be
the shovel's
excited. Are
in
you
the
kidding
ground,
me? When it's here, absolutely. Host a Super Bowl in Chicago. Are you kidding me?
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
we'll be playing in it too. So,
anyways, appreciate all the love. Before you guys go, if you're here watching live with us, we appreciate it. Go ahead and hit that like button. I know you hear us saying it. It really does help grow the community, grow the channel, and it's super easy way to support the channel. So appreciate you guys. Bear down. We hope you guys have a great, safe weekend and enjoy a good note, a good way to go into the weekend where the Bears are essentially back. So we'll see you next week. And hell yeah, bear down.
Peace.